Welcome back, horror fans, cinephiles, and giallo enthusiasts. This is Tanner Leeser, your host for all things giallo, here on The King in Giallo. Our next stop on our journey through giallo cinema is the fourth giallo film from Sergio Martino, Your Vice is a Locked Room, and Only I Have the Key, released on August 4th, 1972. Well, let's waste no time and get right into it. Here is Your Vice is a Locked Room, and Only I Have the Key. Overview. Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key, also called Excite Me, Gently Before She Dies, or Eye of the Black Cat, is an Italian production. The film is directed by Sergio Martino. The screenplay is written by Adriano Bolzoni, Ernesto Gastaldi, and Sauro Scavolini. Music is composed by Bruno Nicolai. The cast is comprised of Edwige Fenech as Floriana, Anita Strindberg as Irina, Luigi Pistilli as Oliviero, Ivan Rasimov as Walter, Franco Nebbia as Inspector, Riccardo Salvino as Dario, and Daniela Giordano as Fausta. The plot follows Oliviero and Irina, a married couple rotting inside a crumbling estate and an even more decayed relationship. Once a respected novelist, Oliviero is now a bitter alcoholic plagued by writer's block and violent mood swings. His blackouts grow more frequent, and his frustration bleeds into all corners of his life, including his inability to be intimate with Irina. Living in fear, Irina begins to suspect that her husband may be planning to kill her, and turns to his alluring cousin Floriana, who has suddenly arrived for an extended visit, for comfort and support. But Floriana has her own agenda. As tensions in the household escalate, a mysterious figure in black begins a string of brutal killings in the nearby village, blurring the line between paranoia and imminent danger. For their fourth giallo outing together, director Sergio Martino and screenwriter Ernesto Gastaldi, with contributions from Sauro Scavolini and Adriano Bolzoni, took a risk by crafting something more intricate and literary. The florid title, Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key, nods to a sinister note from The Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward, 1971, and its structure borrows heavily from Edgar Allan Poe. Most of the film plays like a psychological drama, only snapping into full giallo mode with an array of clever twists near the end. Martino takes a different tack here than in his previous gialli, trading flashy stylization for a more intimate, psychologically driven story anchored in character dysfunction. At its center is Oliviero. Oliviero is a self-destructive bigot and abusive alcoholic artist, consumed by hostility toward his submissive wife and obsessive over his late mother, so much so that hints of an incestuous bond surface. He terrorizes the household, verbally abusing his black housekeeper and staging a cringeworthy attempt at reclaiming virility by inviting a troupe of hippies to a wild party. As a rash of murders spread through the nearby village, Oliviero's frequent alcohol-induced blackouts begin to haunt him. He can't remember what he's done, and the gnawing fear that he may be the killer pushes him closer to a psychological break. Irina, initially framed as meek and subservient, seems like easy prey. At first glance, she's the classic giallo victim, anxious, fragile, and trapped. But the deeper the film goes, the more it complicates her role, revealing a woman who may not be as helpless as she seems. Into this tense dynamic steps Floriana, Oliviero's sexually confident and provocatively uninhibited niece. Her sudden arrival throws everything off balance. She takes both husband and wife to bed with equal ease, and it's never clear whether her motives are personal, sexual, or entirely opportunistic. Is she there to help Irina escape, or to orchestrate her own quiet takeover? Just when the plot seems to settle into familiar patterns of lust, betrayal, and psychological decay, Martino and Gastaldi upend expectations with a series of late-act reversals that shift the film firmly back into giallo territory. The film leans heavily into its Gothic influences, drawing clear inspiration from the works of Edgar Allan Poe, whose stories serve both as mood and blueprint. One of the most overt nods is the black cat. Oliviero clings to a black cat that once belonged to his mother. Treating it with obsessive reverence, the animal prowls the villa like a spectral presence, tormenting Irina and attacking her pigeons, all while serving as a physical reminder of Oliviero's twisted attachment to the past. The film directly references the cask of Amontillado, with a corpse concealed behind a bricked-up wall deep in the cellar. It draws from the Telltale Heart in its portrayal of guilt as something visceral and inescapable, and a sequence of escalating paranoia that borrows the heartbeat motif from the Telltale Heart, but replaces it with a cat's meowing. The film doesn't just reference Poe, it channels his sense of dread and guilt in ways that feel embedded in the bones of the story, reinforcing the film's descent into paranoia and giving its psychological horrors a classical, almost literary weight. These gothic flourishes blend seamlessly with Martino's more grounded approach, turning the villa into a site of both psychological and architectural rot. In addition, echoes of Henri-Georges Clouzot's Le Diabolique 1955 reverberate in the suspense, while a scene in which Oliviero compulsively types the word murder across dozens of carefully arranged sheets anticipates Kubrick's iconic moment in The Shining 1980, though Martino credits Diabolique as the inspiration, suggesting Kubrick may have borrowed from Clouzot as well. Visually, Martino adopts a more restrained, grounded tone compared to his earlier, flashier gialli. Gone are the vivid dreamscapes and surreal fantasy. In their place is deliberate pacing and sharper focus on character psychology. Bruno Nicolai's refined score and Giancarlo Ferrando's brooding cinematography sustain a slow, building tension, though some gore-spun insert shots remain unconvincingly crude. The cast delivers compelling performances. Luigi Pistilli is terrifyingly volatile as Oliviero, morally monstrous even if he isn't the actual killer. Edwige Fenech brings a grit that surpasses the usual damsel in distress archetype. Although she receives top billing, Edwige Fenech doesn't appear in the movie until after the 32-minute mark, while Anita Strindberg is chillingly poised as the abused wife with vengeance on her mind. Ivan Rasimov makes a memorable impression in a supporting role, and newcomer Dalia Di Lazzaro, later seen in The Pajama Girl Case, 1977, wows as a nude dancing hippie at the film's start. Daniela Giordano, soon to star in The Girl in Room 2A, 1974, also appears briefly, further enriching Martino's ensemble. While it may initially appear to stray from giallo convention, Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key ultimately delivers a rich blend of psychological tension, gothic atmosphere, and twisted eroticism, complete with all the genre's signature betrayals, reversals, and body counts. Martino and Gastaldi push beyond simple pulp, layering in literary allusions, shifting power dynamics, and a story that constantly undermines its own assumptions. Anchored by strong performances and a script that rewards close attention, the film proves to be one of Martino's most mature and deliberately constructed thrillers. It may not move at the breakneck pace of his earlier gialli, but what it lacks in speed, it makes up for in depth and depravity. Thank you for watching this overview video. As of the time of recording this, Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key may be found streaming on Plex, Tubi, and Amazon Prime Video, as well as on YouTube. Don't forget to support these movies by buying them on physical media wherever possible. Stay tuned for my unscripted movie review for Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key, as well as the Gialli Tally. Comment your predictions for the AZ score for the movie and the final Gialli Tally score. Thank you very much for your continued support. This is Tanner Leeser for The King in Giallo, and if nothing else, I'll see you next time.